AXA says it was forced to limit the accounts of thousands of customers because it feared there'd be a run on some funds, but it maintains that there's no need to panic. AXA's General Manager of Marketing, Adrian Emery, spoke with Business Channel reporter Aaron Young, who began by asking how many people had tried to withdraw money from their funds since the federal government's guarantee on bank deposits was announced.
Well, we have seen an increase, Aaron. In the last couple of days, we've seen a 20-fold increase in the number of people looking to withdraw their capital and to move it to bank deposits because of the announcement on the government guarantee.
So what are the changes your company has actually made in response to this?
Well, the important thing for all of our customers to realise is that, first of all, their income that they've been relying upon is a monthly income fund. The monthly income is not changing at all. The only change that we've made is if people want to get access to their capital, then we've asked them to wait for up to a period of 6 months before they're able to do that. And we've done that to protect the interests of all of the policyholders, particularly those policyholders that remain within the fund. We have to make sure that we have equality between people who want to go and people who want to stay, and that everybody gets their fair value from it.
So are customers unable to get immediate access to their capital?
Yes, it would be hard for them to get immediate access for the next 6 months. Their income will be absolutely secure, but what we've done to protect the value of all of the policyholders is to say people can still lodge a redemption request, and we will meet that request in 6 months' time.
Why did you suspend withdrawals from some of the funds?
It's necessary for us to suspend it, Aaron, because if you have a run on the fund, and we've seen redemptions tick up, and I'd like to emphasise to people that at this point the fund is very secure. It's still invested in first-grade mortgages. It's a very, very strong fund. But if we see a lot of redemptions coming out of the fund, that has the impact upon the other policyholders who remain within the fund and rely upon the income. So the most important thing for us as an organisation is to protect the interests of all of our policyholders. So that's why we put a freeze on redemptions, to make sure there's equality amongst all of the people within the trust.
I can understand from your point of view, but there might be people out there concerned that there is a threat to their savings. Is there any threat?
I don't think there's any threat at all to people's savings. But when you have a fund which is invested in mortgages, if you have a lot of people who wish to redeem, that has consequences upon trying to get those mortgages repaid. The fund is very secure. It's got a high level of cash within the fund and a fixed interest within the fund. But at the rate of withdrawals we were starting to see, if we hadn't acted quickly and in the best interest of all unit holders, we could have found ourselves, we haven't, but we could have found ourselves in a position which would not have been beneficial to people in the fund.
You use the term quickly, I'll use the term panic. Has there been any panic that some of these funds over the past 24 hours might actually collapse?
There's certainly no panic on our behalf, Aaron, but we have seen investors in the streets looking at the government withdrawal, the government guarantee, and we've seen a level of increase. And our duty to the unit holders is to make sure that we manage the fund for the long-term benefits of people that are within the fund, not to react to panic measures. So certainly there's no panic here at AXA around the fund. We've taken prudent action to make sure that any investors who are panicking don't impact upon the rest of the investors within the fund.
So who do you think might actually be affected by this action?
Well, to be honest, Aaron, sometimes it's a bit hard for us to say, because a lot of the money that we have comes through the master trusts that are in the marketplace, so we don't have a high degree of customer information around that. Although I would suggest it's probably a lot of retirees and people relying upon the income. And the message I would like to give to those people is the income will still be paid. There's no threat to the income. We just needed to make sure that people's capital was secure, and that's why we've had to take the action of just suspending redemptions, postponing them for 6 months. It's not a freeze on redemptions. We're just saying to people we need to know what the level would be, to let us know what that would be, and then we can meet those in 6 months' time.
The Treasurer, Wayne Swan, says Perpetual has told him that they don't believe the government's actions to guarantee the deposits is solely to blame for this. Do you agree with that?
I'm not here to apportion blame, Aaron. I'm here to make sure that our policyholders get the right value from their contracts, that their income is secure and their capital is secure. Certainly the level of withdrawals, redemptions that we've seen has gone up since the government made the announcement, and we think this is probably what the action we've taken is an unintended consequence of the announcement the government made around the bank guarantee.